All right, so here we go again. And I know I've already talked about this, and I actually have a video on YouTube about this. Feel free to check that out. But, and I got to be honest with you, I'm a little bit exhausted. This election is just mere hours away, literally just 2 days away. And, but I'm just doing my part here. I have to keep people. I'm doing my best so that way, whether we win or lose, I can walk out of this saying, I did my part. I tried. I told people the facts. I told them about the American Rescue Plan Act. I told them about the PACT Act. I told them about the COVID relief package. I told them about the student debt reduction. I told them about the Paycheck Protection Program and how Biden and Harris benefited that. Same thing with the Economic Injury Disaster Loans Program. So, and how they expanded unemployment benefits, things like that. So I got to keep putting this stuff out there consistently. And believe me when I tell you, I'm tired, but I can't stop now. So let's get into it. The PACT Act, that stands for Promising to, I'm sorry, Promise to Address Comprehensive Toxics. This is a landmark U.S. law designed to address the healthcare and benefits needs of veterans exposed to toxic substances during their military service. The legislation significantly broadens eligibility for veterans' benefits, particularly for those impacted by exposure to burn pits and other toxic environments. Here are the key points and benefits. Now, by the way, see, I hear all this stuff coming from the right, talking about how the Democrats don't respect the soldiers in the military, and somehow Republicans do. Well, uh, there was there's a couple things about that, and I know this isn't 100% verifiably proven, neither one of these two things, but I mean, we heard the story about the whole losers and suckers thing, which, by the way, some people from Trump's cabinet said that he said that. And there's also one that came out recently that I don't know why the media is not talking about it enough, where there was a Mexican soldier who just died. And when the family had told him about it, told Trump about it, and they wanted, they gave him the price to bury him. And he said, quote unquote, supposedly said, quote unquote, it doesn't cost $60,000 to bury an effing Mexican. And by the way, this particular piece of legislation right here, it was introduced by Democratic Senator Mark Takano. I think he's in California. This was when Nancy Pelosi was still the House leader. So she voted yes on it. So she confirmed it. She passed it. It went through the Senate. Surprisingly, it passed the Senate. And I think even Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema voted for it. I think they did. And to my absolute shock, there were actually some, not a lot, but some Republicans who actually voted for it. Some, not a lot. And I want to say 13 or 14, maybe 15 at most, senators, Republican senators voted for it. Everybody else voted against it. Nearly every Republican in the House voted against it. And of course, President Biden signs it into law and it became effective. So, you tell me who's more respectful to military and soldiers. Now, anyway, so here's the key points. So there's 5 of them. 1, expanded VA healthcare eligibility. VA stands for Veterans Affairs, by the way. I know some of you are looking like, well, why'd you have to say that part? Because some people just still don't know. Some people are still just willfully ignorant. So I have to do my part by giving people the facts and educating them on what went down. So, expanded VA healthcare eligibility. The PACT Act extends eligibility for VA healthcare to veterans who are exposed to toxic substances even if they don't have a service-connected disability. This includes veterans who served in specific overseas locations known for burn pits and other environmental hazards. Number 2, presumptive conditions. This act designates certain illnesses as presumptive conditions, making it easier for veterans to receive benefits. This means that if a veteran served in a specific region and later develops one in these conditions, it is presumed to be connected to their service, simplifying the claims process. Number 3, comprehensive list of illnesses. The PACT Act adds more than 20 new presumptive conditions, including respiratory issues and cancers associated with burn pit exposure, to the list of conditions recognized by the VA. Coverage for, and by the way, I'm going to go back to that because I'm going to type in on ChatGPT what those 20 were. Coverage for, this is number 4, coverage for additional wars and conflicts. This act expands benefits to cover not just veterans of the Gulf War and post 9/11 conflicts, but also those who served in Vietnam, Korea, and other locations where exposure to toxins like Agent Orange was possible. Number 5, streamlined processes. The act aims to make it simpler for veterans to prove their cases and access the care and benefits they need by updating how the VA reviews and processes claims related to toxic exposure. Now, here are 5 of the benefits to it. 1, improved access to health care. Veterans who qualify under the PACT Act can access comprehensive health care through the Department of Veterans Affairs. Number 2, disability compensation. Veterans suffering from conditions presumed to be linked to toxic exposure can receive monthly disability compensation, providing financial support for them and their families. Number 3, increased accountability. The PACT Act mandates that the VA take a more proactive approach in evaluating and addressing toxic exposure claims, holding them accountable for timely responses. Number 4, the law requires the VA to offer toxic exposure screenings to all enrolled veterans and enhances research on the health effects of toxic exposure to improve long-term support. Number 5, retroactive benefits. For some conditions, veterans may receive retroactive benefits if their claims are approved, potentially providing financial relief that dates back to the original claim. The broader impact. This is in conclusion. The PACT Act represents one of the most comprehensive efforts in U.S. history to support veterans facing the long-term health consequences of service-related toxic exposure. By broadening eligibility and creating a streamlined process for benefits, the Act ensures that veterans receive the care and compensation they deserve, addressing a significant gap in veteran health care policy. This law has been hailed as a monumental step in honoring the service and sacrifices of veterans and ensuring they receive the support necessary for conditions developed due to exposure to harmful substances during their military service. Now, here's what I didn't forget about. Let me go back to number 3. Let me type this in on ChatGPT. I would have thought that was going to be, they were going to list what they were, but this is why I love ChatGPT. So, break that down. What are the 20 presumptive people? This is called learning and researching. New conditions. Presumptive conditions. Goodness gracious, I can't type right now. Now, let's go back to number, wow. Oh my goodness. So going back to number 3 under key points, it says comprehensive list of illnesses. The PACT Act adds more than 20 new presumptive conditions, including respiratory issues and cancers associated with burn pit exposure, to the list of conditions recognized by the VA. Well, here are the conditions that are recognized by the VA. Here's 22 of them to be exact. The PACT Act includes a comprehensive expansion of presumptive conditions recognized by the VA as being associated with exposure to burn pits and other toxic environments. Here's a breakdown of the specific presumptive conditions added under the PACT Act. Now, I know it seems like I'm repeating some of the same stuff, and I kind of am, but so what? Deal with it. People need to learn. So, oh boy, there's a lot of words here that I can't pronounce, so I'm going to have to... I did not plan on the video being this sloppy, people. Hold on, give me 1 second. I did not plan on this. Goodness gracious. I was not ready for this. Hold on. How do you pronounce that? Oh, goodness. I don't have time to go through all that. So I'm just going to pronounce it as best I can. So here are the 20 of them. So here's the 11 respiratory-related conditions. Chronic bronchitis. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Chronic rhinitis. Rhinitis. I don't have any, I've never dealt with any. By the way, people, before you judge me, fine, never mind. You can judge me if you want to. I don't give a damn. I'm just here to give people the facts. I don't deal with any diseases or conditions, so most of the stuff, I'm just not familiar with the wording of it. Whatever. I'm just giving you the facts here. Chronic rhinitis. Chronic sinusitis. Sinusitis? It sounds like sinusitis. Constrictive bronchiolitis. Obliterative emphysema. Pulmonary fibrosis. Now, here's the types of cancer. Brain cancer, gastrointestinal cancer of any type, head cancer of any type, kidney cancer, lymphatic cancer, lymphoma, melanoma, neck cancer of any type, pancreatic cancer, reproductive cancer of any type, respiratory, lung cancer. Now, see, that was so much easier. These conditions have been recognized because of their higher incidence among veterans exposed to burn pits and other toxic substances during their military service. The addition of these conditions means that veterans who served in qualifying locations and later develop any of these illnesses can have an easier time establishing a service connection for their health issues, which qualifies them for Veterans Affairs benefits. And just so you all know, the Democrats were the ones who passed that. So, this video is, I was just gonna just put this video on Facebook because I already have a video on YouTube, but whatever, I'm just gonna put it on both. So, and by the way, to those of you who didn't see, I don't know why some of them still have 0 views or one of them has 1 view, but go back and look at my video where I talked about the Paycheck Protection Program and how the Biden-Harris administration benefited that. And then also look at the Economic Injury Disaster Loans Program and how the Biden-Harris administration benefited that. So you guys want to learn something? You guys keep asking, well, what have Biden and Harris done? Go look at those videos. I'll tell you exactly what they've done. And then look it up if you don't believe me. I don't expect anybody to use me as a source. I'm just here to do what many others aren't doing. So like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully we win this thing Tuesday night or Wednesday morning. So I got more coming. Stay tuned.